Hey everyone, this is Linda Reed-Enever. Welcome back to another skills webinar. We've had a massive year of skills webinars, and this is the second last one for the year. Our new webinar next week is with Megan from Meet Edgar, and she's going to teach us how to do more with social media from our time. But today we are joined with Rob and Emily. Patty and Rob are introducing new people to us. Yay! See, they're not holding BBB to themselves anymore. So Emily's here, Rob and Emily here to join us today. They're going to run us through the course creation blueprint, and we're going to look at the opportunities of how we can add value for our students within our course creation. Now, I've already seen some comments on our Facebook live stream, Rob. There are lots of people excited about this one. There are some new faces that haven't joined us from BBB before, brand new faces to the group. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Linda Reed-Enever. I am the crazy lady with 5 businesses who happened to found the Facebook group Business in 2014 and add another one to the mix. We are a community of support. Our passion is for you to learn, connect, and network and do. And that is why we have these two amazing people here with us today. So Rob and Emily, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Need more coffee.
Yeah,
Thank you
exactly.
so much for having us. Nice to be here.
Super excited to be here. Yeah, thanks Linda. Thanks for the invite. Hi everyone that's joining us on the Facebook Live. This is Emily.
Hi.
On our team. If you guys haven't met, we're doing it all over again. Yeah, we want to dive in, and we're happy to answer any more advanced questions, but we always want to make sure that we're starting sort of on a common ground. There's some new faces in the Facebook group as well. So if you guys have any questions that are more advanced that are beyond sort of what we're talking about today, happy to answer those as well for you guys. So
Lynn is with us, and she has 3 courses on Thinkific already.
Congrats.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay. So
What are you guys teaching online? What topics, what subjects?
Yep. Beautiful.
So we have some sort of like, starting point with that as well.
Let us know how it goes, guys. Well, there's a slight time delay between the Facebook Live, but we'll try and keep those questions coming to you as well, because it is actually currently streaming and the really bad regional internet is working in our favor this morning.
Sounds good. No worries. Okay, sounds good. Do you want to just jump into it? I know you've got a long day, so let's get started.
Let's get started.
You want to take some parts of it as well?
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right, desktop here. It's the end of our day, so we're just going to make sure that we're awake. We got our coffee.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see our screen. So we're going to go through quickly kind of a quick blueprint to creating and selling successful online courses. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about what successful online course really means. So we really believe at Thinkific that there's kind of 2 prongs of success, right? So of course there's your business success and creating a sustainable business, but there's also looking at your student success and making sure that your students are getting the transformation that they're interested in when they come and take your course. So our goal for this training is to show you how to grow your business by creating and selling online courses that are designed to make your students successful. Okay, so we created this with a specific kind of person in mind. So you're definitely in the right place if you want to help more people, right? And you want to help more people without trading your time for money or hiring a bunch more staff. Transformation that they're interested in when they come and take your course. So,
Rob, are you watching the live stream?
Yeah. Want to make sure we're looking okay. Yeah.
But you're also in the right place if you want to sell your expertise, right? So, or you're already selling your expertise. Maybe you're a freelancer, coach, consultant, you do speaking. There's tons of different ways you can do that. And then also you're a content creator. This is really awesome if you already are a content creator, because that means you probably have everything you need to begin creating your first course. So whether it's a blog, podcast, anything like that, now you're looking for a way to effectively monetize that content. So good news, you're in the right place, okay? So I want to jump right into it and get into more of the 5 phases to creating and selling successful online courses. I am going a little bit quickly, so if you have any questions, please do pipe up in the chat, and I'm super happy to answer any questions or clarify any points if you need me to break it down. So there's essentially 5 phases to creating and selling your first online course. Now, got a little bit of lag. So we call this kind of our course launch blueprint. I hope you guys have seen this before, so it's going to be more of a review than anything. But the number one thing you need to do, the most important phase, is the first one. You have to choose your winning course topic. Okay. Now the winning course topic is crucial for so many things. Having a winning course topic will not only make sure that you can create clear marketing messaging and make sure that you can create an effective course, but your winning course topic will make sure you can define student success. Okay, and that's why it's so important, and we have to cover it right at the beginning, obviously.
Yeah.
So let's creating your winning course topic. So your winning course topic should ideally be the intersection of 3 different things, okay? So you wanna look at your passion, and that is what you love. So when you think about what really lights you up, what you're excited to do every morning, what you really love teaching other people, that's probably your passion, okay? Then we wanna take a look at your talent. So what you're really good at, what are people always asking you for help? And then look at what the market is demanding or what the world needs more of. Now the intersection of these 3 things, what you love doing, what you're really good at, and what the world needs more of is going to be your winning idea. I like to call this your true calling diagram, because if you can find this cool intersection, then you won't feel like you're working and you'll be able to just live your dream, okay? Now, we look at that, again, your winning topic formula. So your passion, your skill, and your market demand is going to be that winning topic. Now, we're going to talk about that again a little bit later when we talk about student success, because clearly defining your topic will allow you to clearly define the transformation that you're going to take your students through. And that's a really important element of success, because it helps you define what success means, okay? So what you want to do is spend some time at the beginning to create your unique value proposition. Again, this is going to help you later on define student success, okay? So you want to look at what your course topic will be, how that's going to help your target audience, and the outcome and the benefit that they're going to experience. So rather than speak about this theoretically, I'd love to show you actually a few examples.
Yay!
So, yeah. So here's an easy example, just to quickly lay it out for you, right? So my course on Instagram marketing, so that's your course topic, helps real estate agents learn how to, the outcome, they're going to know how to advertise on Instagram. And the benefit is so that they can get more listings. Now, this is really specific, because there's a saying that if you're trying to teach everybody something, you're going to teach nobody anything, right? So you want to go a little bit narrower, right? That's why I really specifically targeted real estate agents. So if you guys are out there, I'd love to hear in the comments who you're teaching, what you're teaching them, and the benefit that they're going to receive by doing that. Okay, so here's another example for you to consider. So your course on finding a job helps college graduates learn how to apply for jobs so they can get hired and start their careers. Now, I really love this one as well, because get hired and start their careers can be something that every person on this planet is going to experience at some point, right? That process of applying for jobs and trying to find a job. But the reason we want to niche in a little bit, focus in on those college graduates, is because then we can really identify the best steps that they need to take. Because the process of finding a job for somebody who's never had a career before is going to be really different than somebody who's 20 years into their career and looking to make a change or level up. Okay, so narrow in. It's nothing to be scared of. That's by focusing in on a specific audience. It's actually going to allow you to create more impact rather than cutting off opportunity. Okay. Finally, a quick one. My course on photography helps busy moms learn how to use a DSLR camera so they can capture special moments with their family. So again, I'd love to see in the comments, we can move on, what you guys are thinking of teaching or what you guys are already teaching, and I would really love to see you put it in this kind of format. So your course on your topic helps, who are you helping, learn, what are you going to teach them, and what's the benefit they're going to receive. So toss it in the comments, toss it in the chat. I'd love to hear more about it. I followed this specific formula when I created my first course. So I did my course on plant-based nutrition, helps young adults learn how to begin eating a more plant-based diet so that they can save money and live a healthier lifestyle.
Awesome.
Okay. So yeah, again, we'd love to hear it.
Come on, don't be shy. We're a little bit, we've got more on the live stream than we have here on the webinar today, but coming from a couple of people on the live stream, they said they didn't get the webinar link. So I know Zoom upgraded on me as I signed in this morning. So I'm wondering if there's a problem with getting the webinar links through. So I'm just going to shoot an email through. Lauren's course is on in the live stream chat. My course on personal branding is to help professional service providers learn how to package their skills and talents and expertise so to become well-paid, well-known, well-paid, and well-wanted.
I love that, Lauren. That's awesome.
Yes.
You have picked a specific target, right? Professional service providers.
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm not going to put it in the chat, but I'll cover my the latest course that we're putting out together, which is the 52-week marketing challenge. So the 52-week marketing challenge is designed to help business owners that are struggling to find time to market their business with a new activity each week.
That's good.
Love
Yeah,
it. I
really
love the
specific.
specific, like each week.
Super specific. Yeah.
Awesome.
Whack you in the head with a reminder email each week.
Like, you know what you're doing or something.
Yeah, exactly. Here's something to do. Hey guys, Lynn's one is that my course on resilience helps sensitive people learn how to overcome anxiety and burnout so they can live a fulfilled life. Well done, Lynn.
Very, very well done, Lynn. Love that.
Yeah, yay, loving that people are participating. I'm just going to go and shoot, guys. I'm just going to duck off screen for a minute and try and shoot some people's emails that registered just in case they haven't got the link for some reason.
No worries.
No worries.
So while you're doing that, we'll move on to the next phase.
Yeah, keep going.
Once you have your first phase, you've chosen your winning course topic, what you think is your winning course topic, then the next phase is going to be to actually validate market demand. Again, this is a really important part of student success later on, because if you can check in with your students ahead of time and help set the goals and help understand what they want to accomplish, this will ensure your student success later on down the road. So that's why it's really important to spend some time validating market demand. Okay, so you do this by doing your market research. There's lots of different ways you can do this. I hope that you've already been doing this for your business. This is where, of course, you're going to research your competition, right? Whether those are other courses or books. You're going to be doing just keyword research, right? This is actually pretty intuitive. Just open up Google, type in, start looking up what you want to teach, see what else is, what the conversation is out there, and start doing a little bit of research. Cool way to do this is social media groups. There's so many great ones at Facebook and LinkedIn.
Yep.
Again, if you're niche, then you can find one specific to the community you're trying to teach. My personal favorite is online forums. So places like Reddit and Quora, I love these ones because you can upvote questions. And so if there's a question on there and it's upvoted a ton and you know the answer, that's fantastic. That's probably a really cool course concept for you because you are a subject matter expert and other people want to know about it and it's proven without you having to do much digging. So definitely consider those kind of forums. And then of course, if you have an audience or an email list, throwing out a survey using something like SurveyMonkey or Typeform, it's always a great idea. And the key here is really talk to your target market, right? Talk to your students. It's hard to define student success and to understand what's going to make your students successful if you don't know what your students want to learn and what they're really trying to get out of a course in the first place. Okay. So
Emily, one of the ones that I give most of our members when they're looking at creating courses or clients that I work with too is also looking at what your clients are asking you on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really, really great point. So if you find yourself answering the same question over and over and over again, turn it into a course.
Exactly. I've got 2 or 3 courses created on that premise.
All getting the same email and typing out the same response, you pay for the information because it means that the information you're providing is not readily available via Google search.
That's right.
Yep. So you have value to add, right? So there's a couple magic questions that we have here at Thinkific. So please grab your pen, write these down because they're super helpful when you're doing your market research and they're really easy to remember. First of all is just what's your biggest challenge with XYZ, and XYZ being here, whatever you want to teach. So if you want to teach how to package their skills, you would say, okay, all of my professional service providers out there in my network, what's your biggest challenge with packaging your skills, talents, and expertise? Or what's your biggest challenge with getting out there? Or what's your biggest challenge with personal branding? So you can word it in a few different ways to get some different questions or get some different results and find out what your biggest challenge is for these students. Because if your course can solve this challenge, then right then and there, you're going to start finding the way to student success. Okay. So the next one is I'm planning to create some training on, again, your topic. So professional branding or overcoming anxiety. So what questions do you have about that you want me to cover? I love this one because you're being upfront and it's also kind of a way of beginning to pre-sell. So if you're mentioning that you want to create training, somebody's like, oh, you're creating training? How do I buy it? Mm-hmm. Right? So you're starting to kind of build the hype, but you're also going to make sure that you're building hype around something that your audience is very interested in learning.
Exactly.
So these are awesome questions to ask. Now, moving on, I guess as part of that, kind of, I pre-sold that I was going to be talking about pre-selling. So another way to validate market demand, of course, pre-sell it, right? So you can begin selling your course before you even create anything. And again, by doing this, you can find out what your students want to get. So if I was going to pre-sell a course, what I would absolutely recommend you to do is sell your course and always, 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 if you're going to pre-sell, ask your students what they expect to learn from this course. By
Yep.
doing that, you can manage expectations and deliver a successful course experience for those students. And you can tailor your content a little bit to make sure it meets the demand that they're looking for. Okay, so anytime you're pre-selling, of course, you're going to choose an appropriate title. This shouldn't be rocket science, by the way. People should know what your course is about by your course title. So that was actually one of the reasons I loved yours. You were talking about like in 52 weeks, right?
Yep.
And you know exactly what to expect from your course by the title. So you don't need to be linear, be specific. And then you could always set up your course sales page, send people to your sales page, and set a goal for yourself that justifies creating it in the first place.
And guys, when we're talking about course titles and pre-selling, is, you know, quite often look for what people are searching for. That's a really big thing. You know, how to write a media release is one of my top selling courses, because why? People type it into Google.
Yeah,
on a regular basis. So it works there. Lawrence just said, is it best to create lots of mini courses to answer and solve problems, or longer courses that cover multiple pain points?
That's a really great question, Lauren. That's a really, really good question. Because so I'm going to talk a little bit later, like the goal of an online course is to create a transformation for your student, right? If you can do that transformation in one mini course and they can get everything they need in, I don't know, half an hour of content, that is worth it for your student. So then absolutely a mini course would be valuable. Maybe there's multiple parts to it, and then you can bundle those courses and your student can purchase the entire bundle. But this is actually part of a bigger discussion as far as like what is student.
It really is. Lauren, if you haven't already jumped into it, jump into the course creation tools and tips group, and that's one I'll explore next week for our VIPs, because I struggle with that one still, even going through it, but I'll explore that one from there. I'll pop that link into the chat as well for the Facebook group. Awesome.
Really great question.
It is a really good question, and I struggle with it too. Occasionally I go, yeah, big one. Then I go, nah, little ones.
I actually do a course just this morning. Somebody had sent me their course and asked me to give them a little bit of feedback. And there was honestly like 30 hours of content. And it was incredible, like really great content. But
great value, but no one's going to take it all.
You would get, I got lost in the intro video that was 18 minutes long, and it was
oh my gosh.
If you
but please guys, if you're in that boat, please don't feel bad, because I'm going to tell you a story now, because it's the most probably a clear one, I should say. I took my 2-day working with a media workshop and put it together purely because people said, yeah, I want to do that, but I want to do it online. Now I know that 2 days worth of content is way too much to take online. I really do. But, you know, went, okay, well, that's what people are asking for, so I'll do it. What I'm in the process of doing now is still keeping that course available for those who want it, but breaking it down into smaller how-tos. Because I know that 2 days worth of training at 8 hours a day is just way too much for people to take in online. And what people are taking in from my courses is either a year-long or a 6-week or a monthly challenge. They're receptive to that, or the quick, you know, in for a couple of hours, you know, learning, or some short, you know, quick how-tos on a specific topic, and then we bundle those into groups further on. I most probably didn't use bundles to my best effect when I first started teaching online, but we'll get better at it.
Absolutely. And if you already have the content, this is actually a really great transition into our next method here, which is beta launching. So if you already have a ton of content and you're just not sure maybe what's the most effective, what's the most powerful, what do your students really want to learn, but you've already built it all, what you could consider doing is throwing it into a beta launch course, launching it to a smaller number of people, asking them to work through it. You'd offer it at like a discounted rate, but then the key here is obtaining feedback, finding like what was the most impactful, where did you get the most value, getting testimonials from it, and then you can either create more content or cut back on content, just depending on where you're at in your course creation journey. So definitely depends on you specifically, what transformation your students are looking for, and then the best method of delivery, which of course you're going to get through testing, whether it's through market validation, pre-selling, or beta launching.
And I think all of us could say that we are all going to have a course that doesn't go the way we expect it to. So please do not let that make you stop running your courses and doing all of that sort of stuff, because we've launched stuff and you learn lessons, and failing's good.
That's right.
Absolutely. That's good. I love the beta launch.
Failing is good.
Because it gives you the opportunity to iterate and continue to improve. And you should have that attitude for all of your courses. Because if your first course is your best course, that's a problem. Because that means you're never going to
That's right.
So
And you never go.
course, you should get better and better and better. And then you might look back on your first course and be like, oh my goodness, like, why was my course 36 hours long? It's like awesome opportunity, and you can continue to listen to your students, talk to your audience, iterate, and fix it. And that's how you're going to improve.
Awesome.
Awesome.
How about Michael?
Oh yeah, so this is just a quick quote from Michael O'Neill from the Solopreneur Hour. He's one of our course creators. He has an awesome quote that I love, and it just says, people are going to vote with their credit card, right? So if they don't put money down, the idea isn't validated yet. And that's why we really encourage you to try pre-selling and beta launching your course. Because if people are starting to purchase your course, that's a huge validation.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I agree, Lauren. Beta's the best.
Well, I think I started by trial with Thinkific on a beta test, or a let's just see how this goes test on a pre-selling of a course.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And it was one of the best ways that we could get in and get to know what we're going to do. So sometimes it's just also about making sure that you dive in there and do something and get to people to know. And I look at our first course now and go, oh my gosh.
What was
But
I doing?
I also look at Thinkific and how far it's come, going, yay.
Fantastic. So I'm gonna take over for a little bit here, just for a few minutes, and actually just jump into Thinkific, and don't want to take up too much of your time, but actually just show you guys how to quickly create a beta course. So I'm gonna pull up one of our demo sites here. Just make sure you guys can see it. So if you guys want to, you can check this out. It's just prelaunch.thinkific.com. Aaron Morin on our team actually built this site, and so I'm gonna go ahead and so if you log in to the account as a course creator, it's going to look like this. It's loading. It's going to look like this. And so, you know, there's other resources that we can share with you guys that will take you through and give you a whole tour of the back end of Thinkific. But today, I just want to quickly show you guys how to quickly use the templates that we have for courses to create a beta course really easily. So if you go to Manage Learning Content, click on Courses.
I'm just going to preface this by I'm so jealous that everyone gets this now and I didn't get this.
Yeah, I know. It's just right here. So basically you go in and you click on New Course. So these are the existing courses that we have that are published. A lot of them are demo courses just for, you know, when we do webinars and things. So if I click on New Course, this pop-up comes up, and you can see all the different course templates that are available. So there's templates for mini courses, flagship courses, pre-sell courses, which is what you're going to use to create a beta course, digital download course, membership libraries, webinar replays. So those are the ones that are available. And there's obviously a blank one as well if you just want to create your own and you got a big idea. But I'm gonna select pre-sell. So click choose. Emily, what kind of course?
How to train your puppy.
How to train your puppy course. Okay. Puppy pre-sell course. Okay, so I'm going to name it.
Hanging out with Patty and Mimi, hasn't she?
Yeah. We got a Momo now as well. We got a new puppy in here called Momo.
Oh, wow.
Momo, Mimi.
Emily, if you haven't realized, Mimi's featured in some webinars with us in the past when she was brand new.
Okay, so I'm going to click on Create Course. And I'm just going to show you guys this and not get too deep into it, but just show you that really the structure of the curriculum is already pre-built for you. So essentially, this is the curriculum. So these are the different lessons. So I'm going to shrink it like this. So basically, there's two chapters. One is really the instructions for this template. And you can go in here and you can read the instructions. So we've literally laid out the things that you would need to do to get this pre-sale done and launched. And then the next one is really what that pre-sale is going to look like for the students. So it'll have a message from the instructor. So that's a video, preferably it's a video. So we have a video there now, but you would just replace that video, and we've got instructions on what to say in the video and everything. And then you would just replace that video with yours. Do a quick survey. So we suggest asking 3 quick questions in the survey. First one is, what aspect of this course are you most excited to learn about? The second one is, the second one is right here, is how do you prefer to learn online? So that's going to give you an idea of, what your students are looking to consume as far as content. Do they learn best with videos, audio, presentations, PDFs, different things like that?
Okay, that's a really good question, Rob, because we had one course in particular this year where we had 50% of our learners prefer to learn by text, 50% to learn by video. So what we ended up doing, and is using the text module to put the video in, but have transcribed text as well for those who wanted to read, because it was a big, no, it's probably not a big shock for me, but it was most probably, I'd focused on video to get that class to classroom connection that I normally get. But it was a big learning curve for me to look at that opportunity of how do we do it. But rather than having to duplicate that content, guys, if you've got text-based learners, use the transcription services out there and put a transcribe in the video.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're really good friends with the guys at rev.com if you guys want one as far as resource. And they have
Actually, I'll pop the link in. We've got a voucher from BBB.
Yeah.
Rev,
perfect.
Use Rev for $10 voucher. Yay.
Perfect. There you go. And then the last question we would suggest for the pre-sale course in the survey is just really the outcome expectations. So after taking this course, I'll be able to blank. So, whatever that, outcome is that your students are learning for, looking to learn from you, then they would share that with you there. So it's really important to understand that, right? So that when you're crafting your curriculum and your content, it's like, okay, this is the transformation that my students are looking to get out of this course. And so you can deliver that. And the third lesson would be next steps, really. So after they've filled out the survey, you would just give them next steps, right? So like, okay, well, our course is going to start, January 1st, until then, here's some resources. Go ahead and maybe, if it's, create an account create an Instagram account. If it's an Instagram course, go create an Instagram account, read this blog, download this PDF to get you started, so that you can kind of, start delivering content to them and actually start teaching them before the course even starts. So that's what we have now. That's really set up to create that beta course super easily with a template. We're going to go now into building the landing page. So just to go back one step, on the top right of that page, it says Build Landing Page. That'll take you to the site builder. It's going to load now. So it's already pre-populated some of the content here that you've put in. So it's got the title. You can put in your logo. You can put links up here. And then we have obviously the course curriculum that's already put out here from the actual course editor that you have created. And then, so that's going to populate in there as well. And then you can go in and you can essentially, put in your own images. You can add more sections if you like. One of the popular sections here for for pre-sales is countdown timer.
Yes. Yeah. Now, so, for those of you who are in Australia, this is a problem with the countdown timer because it doesn't set to time zones. You need to set a day ahead, and about midnight, our time will be about in midnight, and it'll cross over for 11 a.m. or 12 a.m. 11 a.m. our time, daylight savings, or 10 a.m. non-daylight savings time. But you need to be a day before. You need to take in the time differences.
Perfect. Yeah,
yes, let that one.
Yeah, so there you go. So so you can put the countdown timer, and then you can actually move sections around. So if you want the countdown timer right below the banner, then you would just literally drag it up, and it'll just move right. It's a little slow today, but yeah, it'll just move right below the banner, and you can just switch, sections around, move them around. You can switch, you switch up all the colors to match your existing site if you have one, and so on. So super easy. Again, we can, we're happy to share some resources to help you build your landing pages, but you want to keep it super simple. At this point, you don't want to get too long with your landing pages. There's lots of different, beliefs in different ways of creating landing pages, but I would just say create a very simple pre-sale landing page, get them to register and, showing us what you're going to be covering. Yeah.
Put a video on your landing page if you can.
Yeah.
That's right.
Big believer in video on landing pages and welcoming people into the course.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. So, yeah, we'll get back to the slide. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions about the site builder or the templates, let us know as well. Happy to answer that for you. Okay.
Yes, we're gonna have a replay, obviously.
Yeah, we will have a replay, guys.
Awesome. Luke is asking, does Thinkific integrate natively with WordPress? Yeah, absolutely. So you can have your courses display on your already existing web page. So that's the awesome thing about our platform is if you have that website and all that kind of stuff built already, then you can just have our courses. If you don't have that, or maybe you want to upgrade your site a little bit using one of our themes, you can create your own landing page on our site.
Yeah. So you can create your landing page or sales pages on your WordPress site and then just link to the checkout on Thinkific so that students can register on your Thinkific site, and it's a seamless integration. Yeah.
Okay, Luke said he's already paid for Lifter LMS. What does it have over Lifter? Luke, I'm going to suggest, Rob, can we take that one offline and maybe get Luke to have some contact with you afterwards, or Emily to have some contact with you afterwards? Because once we start comparing LMSs and that sort of stuff, it gets a long conversation. And there's also a really good Zapier integration between WooCommerce and Thinkific if you need it.
Yep, fantastic. Yeah, Luke, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to chat over, sort of what you're looking for an online course platform, and answer any questions you may have there. No problem.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll dive back in. We just wanted to give you a quick demo of Thinkific. We're talking about creating pre-sales pages and things. For people who aren't from a technical background, that can sound really overwhelming. So hopefully Rob was able to show you that it is super simple to do, even if you don't have a technical background or you don't know how to open the coding sheet or anything like that. That's okay. You can still do it, no matter your technical background.
Now, Lawrence asked us about once you create a course, any tips for generating traffic? Are we covering a little bit of that on that one today, guys? Or
yeah, I could definitely dive into that in a little bit.
And I've got more tools in the course creation, tools and tips stuff for that. There's the 10 even in the free section, guys. If that one, there's the 10 ways to market your course while you create it, and those areas there. So if you head to that one, you'll be able to find those as well.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Okay. Perfect. So we talked about choosing your winning course topic, talked about how to validate your market demand and why that's such an important step. We've shown you how you can do that quite easily using our platform. But let's dive back into more about creating your course content. Okay. Now, creating your course content can be tricky, right? As we've talked about, it can be super easy to have all of this content and so much information that you know and you want to share. But what you have to remember when you start creating your course content is that your customers aren't buying information, okay? They're buying the promise of a transformation, okay? So what you want to think about is how to take your student from where they are right now and how do you get them to that desired future? So where do they want to be? Okay, so if you have, using that example we just did, how to train your puppy, right? You have somebody, they just brought their puppy home and this puppy is tearing apart their house, okay? That's their current reality. They're like, oh my goodness, this puppy is terrible. It's ripping apart my house, peeing on the carpet. It's a disaster. Their desired future is that they're going to have a very well-trained dog who barks on command and rolls over and does all these cool tricks. But, so you need to figure out, but what right now is that problem, okay? Because that's very vague future. So maybe the current reality and the desired future is they just don't want them chewing the furniture, okay? So how can you as a course creator create that transformation, okay? So going on about all this other information out there can be information overload. So you want to narrow in on the desired future and that specific thing that will make them feel like they're there, okay? And that's why at this point, more information does not necessarily mean more value.
That's right.
Okay, so you don't want to pack your course with too much content. So we have a couple little multimedia tips or rules that I would recommend, and I'll give them to you here. Things like your videos, right? Get your videos, you want to be specific and to the point as you can. So keep your videos, we recommend anywhere from 2 to 7 minutes long, okay? So, and the nice thing about that is that's doable for us. So this is your first course that you're creating. Don't worry, don't think you have to create hour-long video training session. You can commit to creating something 2 to 7 minutes long and deliver your value. Okay, do quick assessments in your courses. So in between your videos, you want to try placing a basic quick quiz that's going to kind of reiterate what they're learning and keep the information short and broken up. Okay, and then of course just avoiding the unnecessary, because again, more information does not always equal more value. Okay, so again, you just want to help your student get from point A to point B as quickly and painlessly as possible. And of course, your online course should provide that shortcut. Okay, people always worry so much about like, how many videos should I have? How many chapters should I have? That's not what's important. What's important is teaching the right concepts in the right order to get your students from point A to point B.
Yep.
Simplify it. Okay, so the best way to do this is create your course outline. Okay, and your course outline, ideally in the beginning, should be able to fit on like a single sheet of paper, and should be very simple. Where's your student now? Where do you want them to be? And what are those things that need to happen in between there? Okay, so you want to map your customer's learning journey and then identify those steps that have to happen in that journey to get them to where they want to be. You can group those steps then into your milestones or your themes, which will later become your chapters, and then organize those themes into the proper order, right? So you're the expert and you might know that point C, there's no way you can get there without learning point B, so you have to kind of map that in the right sequential order. Taking the time to do this, forcing yourself to keep it very simple on one sheet of paper can really help you identify the key things that you need to cover with your students, okay? So an example of this, we'll go really quickly through this. I want to make sure we have time to answer more questions, but let's pretend you're creating a quick course just to help your college or university grad get hired. Okay, so this is my friend Rob. He just graduated from university yesterday and he wants to get a job. Okay, so I'm going to sit down and I'm going to think, Rob just graduated college and now he wants to get a job. Well, there's a couple different things that he needs to do, right? Those milestones that he needs to do. First of all, he needs to write a resume. He needs to clean up his social media. Good job, Rob.
Yeah, I know.
There's a job applications. There's so many different things that go in there, right? But what are those key things that he needs to do? And what are the order that he needs to do those in? Okay? Easy to identify. We can do that in one page of paper. Okay? Then you want to create your content. So choose your primary method of teaching. Now, this is really important. If you are way more comfortable with the voiceover slides method, then do your course in voiceover slides and don't feel like you have to do live video. Yes. Vice versa. You're way better on video. Don't feel like you have to create all these detailed, intricate slides. Play to your strengths here and teach in the way you feel most comfortable, because you're actually going to enjoy creating your course. You're going to be motivated to actually finish creating your course. And then you can always come back and iterate and make changes later on. Really great idea. And I would encourage all of you guys to do is have supplementary materials and resources. So these are things like your worksheets, your checklists, quizzes, discussions, all of those kind of things are really going to help you engage your students. So again, we talk about student success, and these are a really good way to measure student success and to keep your students engaged so that they can actually get to the end of your course, okay? And then stay focused. So just one key concept per lesson and one main milestone per module or chapter, okay? So hopefully this is like keeping it pretty simple. That's my biggest advice. Keep it simple as you think it needs to be, okay? And that doesn't just apply to your courses, it also applies to your recording equipment and your software. So another question we get, number one question we get is like, how many chapters, modules, things like that. Second question we get is, how much money should I be spending on a camera, microphone, lighting, studio? And the reality is you don't need to spend a lot, right? So one of our favorite stories for this is we have Deanne Love. And if you guys have been in Thinkific's community for a while, we always love to talk about Deanne because she recorded her first course on her iPhone in the park. Like she'd get her iPhone, she'd like prop it up against a tree, press record, go run, and then start filming. And it sounds silly, but she
do it.
Knows teaching people how to hula hoop. So she does like hula hoop dancing, and now she's built this massive business. And it all started so simply. Again, it started at the intersection of her passions and what she's good at, what the world needs more of. She did it simply. She tested the demands. So all of these things we're talking about, Deanne did an awesome job doing that. And she kept it super, super simple, okay? So when we talk about creating your course content, the only kind of equipment and software you need are your computer and your laptop, or if you're Deanne, your phone, recording and editing software, HD camera or a webcam. It's optional. Chances are you probably already have what you need to do that. The one thing we do recommend maybe spending a little bit of money on is a good microphone. But
Yes.
when we say a little bit of money, like you can buy a microphone on Amazon for
Like $50,
$50.
Yeah.
So it's definitely that's the one thing I would recommend, because if you don't have good audio and you're doing audio lessons in your courses, it can be hard for your students to stay engaged. Okay. So I want you guys all to make me a promise. I see you all out there in the chat. Put your hand on your heart and promise me, promise Rob, that you're not going to go out and spend a ton of money on an HD camera and all of this editing and recording software in order to create your first course. I want you guys to focus on creating your course, testing your course, and making sure people really want to learn it versus spending all this money up front, okay? Because that's going to add an extra stress that you just don't need when you're creating your first course, okay? Great. So going on next.
Come on, guys. Promise.
Oh, we lost you there for a second.
Yeah, I'm saying to everyone, come on, promise away.
Promise. Give us a thumbs up if you promised, or a heart. Now, the next step, we are going to talk a little bit about selling your online course. So I think that was somebody in there.
Lauren had a question, yes.
You were asking, like, are you going to talk about selling online courses? So here we go. Now, there's a huge myth about selling online courses, right? Everybody has this idea in their head that you have to have a massive launch for your course. You see so many experts relying on this big like launch model, right? You hear stories of a 7-figure launch in a single launch. But unless you have a team, really, promotion partners, a big email list, experience in that, it might not be the way to go for you. This is your first time creating a course. You're still relatively new. Don't feel like you're not succeeding if you're not having these big 7-figure launches, okay? There's just too many moving parts and things that can go wrong. If you can pull it off, awesome. But I would recommend don't necessarily always aim for a huge launch. Aim to build more of like automated channels for yourself, right? So sales or marketing funnels that generate consistent leads and sales for your course. Okay, so it's not that one day you're all in on that day, but it's a continuing model and it's a sustainable business for you. The consistent leads and sales that will come from that are going to lead to consistent revenue. And that's how you're going to build a business. It's way healthier for your business success, but also your sanity than having everything go for this launch and it potentially not being a great success on that one day. Okay. So again, just in case you didn't get that, you don't need to do a big launch. You should have a customer journey, right? And again, it's important to understand your customer journey because this can help you define customer success. Okay, so a lot of the things you're doing in that planning phase, in that course creation phase, in that sales phase will later help you define that student success and ensure that your students are successful going forward. Okay. I'm going to go through a little bit quicker through this part. Just because we're talking a little bit more about a sales funnel. I'm happy to dive in if you guys want me to in a little bit more detail. But the key idea here is that only 2 to 3% of your target market is really ready to buy right now, right? The rest of them are earlier in the journey, or maybe they're in that information gathering phase. And so what we really want you to do is just think about how you can create content for every stage. Okay. So maybe right now people might not be ready to purchase a course, but they would want to download a PDF guide, or they do want to subscribe to a newsletter where they can get consistent information, which you can then use to get them closer to a purchasing decision. Okay, so this is again talking a little bit more about a sales funnel, which is going to be that series of steps that guide your prospective customers from that awareness phase, like I realize I have a problem, it's my dog, it won't stop chewing my furniture, to the decision stage of, okay, I'm going to pay this X amount of dollars now for this course, which will teach me how to train my dog properly. Okay, so just that series of steps there. And that's going to guide you through your content. Many of you are already content creators. You already have this stuff out in the universe. So I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard about it. To give you an example of that funnel that we normally see, you have your top of funnel. And that's where your people are at awareness, going all the way down to consideration when you're trying to get their contact information or their leads, build your email list, right? And then conversion, which is ultimately your course sales. So bottom of the funnel, okay? So what you want to do is create a sales funnel that respects the buyer's journey and then start promoting your content, okay? Your free content. That's how you'll attract students. So that's kind of goes to that question, right? Like I've created a course, how do I get it out there? a really good way is to take your course concepts or your course content, break it into smaller, easier to digest pieces, and then use that as advertising content, I guess you could say, or marketing content, I should say. So whether that's blog posts, podcasts, you maybe talk about one of your lessons through a podcast episode. Maybe you create a short guide that can be downloaded in a PDF. There's all different things that you can do here. Okay. But the fifth phase, and why I kind of want to go a little bit quicker so we can spend some time talking about that, is you want to optimize your course for student success. Okay. So
we're going to skip over the dog training course example.
Sorry, I know you guys love talking about dogs, but unfortunately our topic for the webinar is student success, not dog success. No, just kidding. So the fifth phase, right, is where we really want to optimize for student success, okay? Because as a course creator, the most important metric for your success is the success of your students, okay? Because their success will ensure your long-term business success, right? When we look at kind of your new customer, right? Most people make the mistake of focusing on just getting these new customers, right? So all they want is new customers, more customers, and they're constantly spending money on advertising and getting their messaging out there and trying to find more people.
Right.
But in reality, if you focus on making sure your new customers become happy customers, then this is going to lead to things, your repeat business and your referrals. And that is so valuable. If you can have your happy customers acting as advocates for your business, going out, sharing the message, talking about the transformation they've achieved because of your online course, that's when your business will really find success. And so, yes, marketing is super, super important, but I really believe the best marketing you can do is taking care of your students and making sure that they achieve the results that we're looking for. And that's why I spend so much time talking about understanding what your students want before they begin taking the course. Because if you can give them that, then they'll become your biggest fans, right? And this will ultimately lead to your sustainable business. You'll get referrals, testimonials, organic growth, and just a way more sustainable business that you can actually continue doing and continue creating new courses and doing all the things that you love. Okay, so student success, there's a few different tips, and I kind of touched on these earlier. But the biggest thing is bite-sized lessons. Okay, so you want things to be easily digestible for your students. So that's why I kind of recommended things like a shorter video, 2 to 7 minutes, follow it up with a quiz. Also different kinds of content, because we all know, right, that there's different learning styles out there. Some people are auditory learners, other people are, I think it's kinetic learners. You have to go, you have to actually do stuff, right? Yep. Some people love to just see things and visualize things. And that's really hard to predict, like what your students are. So by kind of having all different content for different learning styles, you can kind of make sure everybody is able to digest. I also definitely recommend stacking wins for sure, and making sure that your students feel like they're succeeding, okay? Thinking about things like accountability, right? So giving quizzes or assignments and then having them check back in is awesome. If you have a coaching business that goes along with your online courses, accountability is super, super effective. We can talk a little bit more about coaching, but coaching is a really cool way to scale your business and add a little bit of an extra layer to your courses. And then also community, right? So this is going to really help with engagement. So whether it's a Facebook group or community or other forums, we even have Slack. We have discussion features within Thinkific. Figure out what's going to work best for your audience, what they're actually going to use, and then use that. And pro tip, as it says, survey your students after completion. So as Rob showed you, at the pre-sale page in Thinkific, there's questions like, what do you hope to learn from taking this course? So you better make sure at the end of your course, you do a follow-up survey saying, you told me you wanted to learn this. Did you learn that?
Did you learn it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you didn't, like, what was missing? How do we get there? And then again, that's going back to iterating and constantly improving and making sure that you're delivering an excellent student experience. Okay. So this is Nick from Life on Fire, and he just says, we're not just in this business to get people to buy our stuff, right? We want them to see the change and the impact and create the success stories. So I really think that a lot of us are in online courses, we're in education, and we're doing this because we want to help people, right? You want to share your message. You want to share with your experience and your knowledge and impart that on your students so that they too can experience a transformation and live a great life. And so this is why you should care about student success, why you should focus on creating a great transformation, and really understanding what your students are looking to get. That's kind of a little bit about student success. Does anybody have any questions? I see the chat's like a little bit.
Yep.
Everybody's eating it up. They're like,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Super interesting.
So,
Yeah, no,
so much information.
it is definitely overload. Another cool thing, I just wanted to chat. There's a few points, and I'd love to share it actually in the group chat. Our CEO, Greg Smith, is a huge advocate for student success.
Right.
And we recently hosted a Thinkific Success Summit, and he spoke about student success. And I would 100% encourage you to check out this video. We're happy to share it with you. But he talked a little bit about some cool things that we don't have in our webinar, but he talked a lot about having your students actually teach others,
Yes.
which I would encourage you to do. So if you have the opportunity to say, okay, stop here, go teach somebody, take 5 minutes and teach them what you just learned, and having them interact with your content, because sometimes that can get lost in an online course. So creating those opportunities for your students can be really impactful. And that's a really great tip. And then another one, it's kind of like adding a break point. So we did a really great interview with one of our course creators, Chandler Bolt, and he specifically talked about, he would have points in his videos where he's like, okay, stop here. Don't go forward until you've gone and actually done this. Right.
Yeah.
So giving your students that opportunity rather than like binging your entire course, going start to finish and not doing anything, give them the opportunity, that break point, to go and apply what they've learned and come back to your course. And I think kind of all of these little different things, depending on the content you're teaching and your delivery method, can really help your students find success.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. You know, we wanna open it up for questions, and I know that there's.
I'm going to pop us back onto video, so that we can be seen again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took us off because it's like ask to start video. Here we go. I think I'm going to ask you to start video now. Here we go.
Okay, perfect.
There you go. Yay! There we go. Okay, beautiful. We might drop the screen share so everyone can see us. Hey, Rob.
I will. I'm going to stop
Yay.
sharing. There we go.
Hey guys, I'm back. So if you've got any questions, now I'm watching more of the live stream because that's where seems to be most of our participants. Angelique has jumped here in the webinar. And for those of you who are catching this just now, there will be a replay up on the BBB website. It'll be tomorrow morning. I'm heading off to Geelong in about 10 minutes. So for those of you who've got any questions, please come in and ask them in relation to your course creation. Rob, I believe you've got a special offer too for our members again today.
Yeah. So yeah, we are offering, we're just going to pull it up here just so we have everything all dialed in. But for anyone, basically we've got a link here that we're going to share with you guys in a second. But basically it'll be, if anyone wants to get started, we do really love people that are go-getters, that really want to just jump in and start, you know, creating their online course. If it's your first time on Thinkific, or first time with online courses in general, basically we've got 30 days on the Pro plan. That gives you access to all the different features, all the premium features that you need to get started. So we'll give you guys 30 days on the Pro plan. We'll give you launch templates and guides to really make it super easy to get started. So it's literally all you need to do is replace the placeholder content with your own content. Okay. We also have pricing and sales training that's going to be available. So I know Greg, our CEO, he created this fantastic course on how to price your course. So you'll get free access to that. I think it's like $300 worth of value for that course alone. And so all the training that's going to be included is like almost $800 in value. Support. So you guys get 360-degree support services from our support team. So if you have any questions, you can ask them as well. And you can also, I believe it also includes a couple of onboarding calls. So you can actually schedule a one-on-one call with someone from our onboarding team to ask all of your specific questions that maybe, you know, our training here didn't cover. So all of that, I believe, is $99. And we're going to send you guys the link in the comments, or maybe I'll send it to Linda to share with you guys.
Sure, yeah, is that the same link that we use for the Thinkific meetup? Yeah, beautiful. I've got that link, guys. I'll pop it into the comments here. I'll pop it into the comments summary, and you'll get it in the replay as well. I do know where it is. It's just in a like chat log of Rob and mine.
Yeah.
1,900 times. Now, for those of you who don't know, I run a couple of Thinkific meetups here. And actually, Rob, I haven't covered this with you yet, but one of the, I love putting you on the spot. One of the big questions that came up in the last 2 meetups we've run out of Melbourne is affiliates. And it's come up with a question of working with affiliates and affiliate marketing and those sorts of things. So that will be our February topic for the Melbourne Thinkific meetup, is working with affiliates. Being on the other side and working with affiliate partners as well, the one comment that I see from course creators, and I don't think you understand both sides of it, is what are we doing with lazy affiliates? I've got affiliates, but they're not marketing my course. And I don't think we need to understand that life cycle of working with an affiliate, and affiliate partners don't actually automatically mean that you've signed someone up and all of a sudden you're going to get an influx of sales, and vice versa. So that's going to be our February meetup topic when we come back with our meetups in Feb. For some reason, I lost you guys' audio.
Oh, can you hear us?
Yeah, no, got you now. Coming through now. And the other thing was, which I need to talk to you about, is there was we have had quite a few people traveling regionally like I have been. So my talk to you later on is about actually rolling them out in regional Victoria a little bit further.
Oh, okay.
Because we had a person come from well, I've had a couple of my Better Go clients come up with me anyway, but we've had a couple of people come from Castlemaine and from Geelong and different areas around. And as I said, this is a massive country. Trying to get as many meetups as we can in. Do they have any meetups in Brisbane? Did someone kick off? Someone took over Brisbane after I did. Did Queensland, did they?
Yeah, we always have meetups happening like Brisbane and Sydney and Melbourne. Obviously, you're taken care of really well. So there's always, the best place is just our Facebook page. Is probably the best place to see. We have an events page there, so you can see all of our upcoming meetups. So we're talking to all the different ambassadors and planning for 2019. And if you want, guest speakers, me and Emily are happy to go to Australia.
Have you told Greg that yet?
No, we were hoping you were going to. The Facebook page, so facebook.com/Thinkific.
And I know Rayanne was looking at running some more on the Gold Coast, Angelique as well too, out of the Gold Coast Training College after I did that. But once again, I tour Australia for BBB. I will try and get some meetups happening for Thinkific as well along the way, because just different people, different things. And the other thing is, if you've been thinking about going to a meetup, because I saw this question in the other group, I've been thinking about going, would I go? Of course, go.
Yeah. I know.
You learn one thing, and look, the last meetup we did in Melbourne was all on tools to create courses. But the reality of it was there was a couple of people in there that hadn't even started their course creation journey. So we just talked about, getting started. Is that conversation with other course creators, because it's a crazy world. And in business, guys, and especially if you're an online business owner, if you don't get out and network with other people, then you don't pick up new skills. So definitely do so. Okay. And we don't have any questions, and I'm going to wrap this one up because I do have to be in the car in 10 minutes time.
Okay, sounds good.
But guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back. I'm sure we will have you back in 2019 when we kick back in February. Guys, we are finishing up our skills webinars next week with Megan from Meet Edgar. And for those of you who've been wanting to know how do you market your course after you create it, let's look at creating some evergreen content next week to put into your sales funnel. Gee, these link nicely together, these two webinars, didn't they? And then we will be back in February. We're going to take a month off in January, from December to January, and take a break this year and come back fully in January. For those of you who haven't seen the skills webinar replays, if you head to business.com.au/skills, you will see all the replays here. You'll get to see Pammy and me, Patty and Mimi, and a few other things that we've spoken about this year. And you can see Ben's stuff from Missing Letter last week as well. There's been a huge amount of value. Guys, thank you for kicking off skills webinars with us in 2018. Because you've been a regular feature. Say hi to Patty for me, and we'll see you all again next week. Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Bye.